Hello, my name is Duncan and welcome to Back Away from the Donkey and Bath Books. And this is a pick and mix. I think I'm up to number 21 by now. Which is generally a mixture of stuff. But the main thing I will be talking about will be BookTrek 2023. But I'm going to keep you on tenterhooks because I'm going to do that in a wee bit. First of all, I'm going to go through some stuff that I read and a few little plans that I've got. And just ramble on for a little bit before I get on to BookTrek. And also the famous question is, why do I always fail at Booktube events? So yeah, I'll start with what I've read this week. This week I did, so I've got stuff in front of me. I reread Return of the Jedi novelisation, which I did a brief little video about, which hardly anybody seems to have watched. So I'll put a link below if anybody wants to see it. But anyway, I enjoyed talking about this. It's all to do with Return of the Jedi's 40th anniversary this year. And I just wanted to do a few little bits on it. Anyway, so that one's down. And the other thing I read was Now and Forever, Ray Bradbury. It's another one I dropped a video about this week. It's got 2 novellas in it. Sometimes the band is, I'm trying to think, sorry, bad. Somewhere a band is playing and Leviathan 99. I've done a wee bit of a video. I'm going to put a link at the end because I'll go into it in a bit more detail, but I really liked it. And so far, out of new things I've read this year, that'll probably be one of the top of my favourites. So yeah, so I did that. I've started reading. I've got a couple of other bits on the go that I'm still reading over a long period of time, which I won't go into. If you want to know what's going on, look at my Goodreads. But I also started yesterday a book by Monty Don, Nigel, which is about his golden retriever, Nigel. If you don't know, Monty Don, because if anybody who's not in UK, is a TV presenter. He presents a gardening program. He's got this huge garden, and he used to have this lovely golden retriever that he sadly lost, I think, last year or the year before, called Nigel, who used to take all the scenes. And it's just like his history with dogs and things. And as somebody here who I love golden retrievers, we sadly lost our boy last year. And so my wife bought me this book for my birthday last September, and I've only just got around to reading it. I said, I am just over halfway. I started it yesterday, so I'll probably finish it today. And Gardener's Well, which is a program he presents, when you see he's got another golden retriever now, and he's also got a Yorkie. So, us Yorkie lovers. But Gardener's Well is a program that I watch and sort of in envy. I always like this idea of sorting out. My back garden is literally a 30-degree angle, so I keep looking at it thinking I need to try and do something with this, but I'm not a gardener, but I'd love to be a gardener. But to actually landscape it to get it so it would be usable, I think would be incredibly difficult. Every now and then I have these ideas, but one day maybe I'll be able to sort it out. The problem is my wife's uses a wheelchair, and at the moment she could hardly get out there, so I would need to try and do something like that. But yeah, I have these dreams of a nice garden. But yeah, Monty Don, Nigel, is Nigel book. There's some nice pictures of the dog. There's a paperback of this book. I said my wife bought me this for my last birthday. And there's some sort of black and white photos in there, as well as some that are on better paper stock of all his dogs. And also his dog, sadly, it broke his back. And recovered though, chasing a ball. But it's really nice. It's a very, very light read, very, very easy, and I'm really enjoying it. So Nigel Monty Don, if you're into something light and into dogs and stuff, I'd recommend it. So yeah, that's what I've sort of been reading this week. Those 3 I've got through. I'm looking forward to. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to sort the book falling everywhere. I'm in the middle of sort of sorting out a video that I want to do for the back end of the week, which is my Star Surgeon Death Match, which, because I recently read Star Surgeon by James White and Alan E. Norse, and I wanted to compare the two. So we're going to have a Star Surgeon Death Match. Hoping to get the video sorted by the back of the week, because I'm getting a bit carried away with some editing, which I really shouldn't do because I don't like editing, but I'm just having a bit of fun with it. I'm hoping to drop that at the back of the week, which is why I thought I'd mention it now. So now, let's get on to BookTrek. I'm really bad with Booktube events. I don't take part in many because I normally fail drastically. I even failed last year, the Booklectic's Howl for the Holidays, which was basically just read a Hal Clement book. and I went to start one and never got around to finishing it, and never did it, because I sort of pick quite random things. But BookTrek this year is over 3 months. It's just an event to, I think it was started by Reverend Reed, I think, but I could be wrong. I will put below links, and I know it's co-hosted by Steve Donahue, I think the Booklectic, and a couple of other people. I will put all the links down below when I can remember who they are. And yeah, it's read some Star Trek books. There's a couple of things like doing some away missions and things like this, but I thought I'd give them a go because I failed. I think part of the reason, why do I fail drastically at them? I think it's because I'm quite random, because I just think, oh, I'm going to read that next, and then I find something else and think, no, I'll read that instead, and I sort of get moved away. And then if you get this sort of events that people talk on Discourse, I'm really not a fan. Discourse is, if you wanted to find a piece of software that enables people to not converse and talk easily, Discourse is it. It's a horrible piece of software. I don't know who designed it, and I don't know how it's got so popular. I've been on it a couple of times, and I just thought, oh, forget it. But yeah, anyway, so BookTrek, it's over 3 months, so it's we're just hitting June, July, and August, so I should be able to read some Star Trek in that, shouldn't I? So I thought I would. So the first one I'm going to start after I finish the Nigel book. I'm 100% going to read this Discovery book, Star Trek Discovery. And when Star Trek Discovery came out, didn't feel like Star Trek to me. I didn't really watch it at all. I saw clips of it and thought, this doesn't feel like Star Trek, so I left it alone. And then last year, I finally sat down and watched it, and I really, really like it. It still doesn't feel like Star Trek to me, but it feels like good science fiction. So I think of it like Star Trek adjacent. So this book here, my wife bought me this for my birthday last year. See, I'm trying to catch up on those. Wonderland is between seasons 3 and 4. It is set, and it's by Una McCormack, who I don't know as an author. I know she's written some other Star Trek stuff and some Doctor Who stuff, and she's an English author. But I'm actually quite looking forward to this. Keep meaning to start reading it, and I thought, that's it. After I've read my last birthday read, Nigel, I'll get onto that one. So that's the one I am 100% definitely going to read. So I can talk about that. So I can say, finally, I finished a BookTube event. Because I said I normally fail drastically, and I said, everyone I've done, but have I ever actually managed to do one? Did a read along with Steve Donahue for 7 Days in May. I think that was the only one I managed to do. Then the other ones I'm going to attempt to read is, I've got these 4 here. These 4 are all different incarnations of Trek, and a story that goes through all of them. So the first book is First Strike, and that's set from the original series. Second book is Invasion. It's the Soldiers of Fear. Don't know what happened to that. See, something happened to that. It's annoying, but I did pick these up locally. So. And that is Next Generation. Third book is Deep Space Nine one, Time's Enemy. And the final one is in the Voyager universe, which is called The Final Fury. And these are all linked stories. I know nothing about them, but I am going to attempt, once I've done Discovery, to maybe start these. So I said all 4 books, which I have there. So I found these locally in our second-hand shop, and they were in really good condition. I didn't realise that the Voyager one had, Star Trek Next Generation one had that on the cover, but it doesn't matter. And I said, yep. So it's about an alien invasion as far as I can do, and it works through all of the incarnations of Star Trek up to Star Trek Voyager. The other thing I am attempting to do, which whether I start it in this BookTrek event is another thing, is I read an article the other month about 1983 being the best year for Star Trek novels. So I had it in my head that I was going to read all the books from 1983. So this is the first book, which is by Sonny Cooper, Blackfire. And I haven't got the other ones. The only other one I read from this year before is Yesterday's Sun by Anne Crispin, A.C. Crispin. And I read that many, many years ago, and that got lost in the famous book purge of the back end of the 90s. So I need to pick that up again. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in that were published in 83. So Black Fire, which I've got, Triangle, Web of the Romulans, Yesterday's Sun, On the Enterprise, and The Wounded Sky. So I need to try and pick all these up. And actually, I've had to look around. Sometimes they're a bit more difficult to get hold of than I thought. And I must admit, I would love to get hold of these pocketbook editions with the borders like that. It's book 8. And that would probably make my searching even more difficult. Whether I do these in the BookTrek event is another thing going. But I just want to successfully say, I've done another BookTube event. So yeah, so that's my sort of Star Trek reading. And I'm quite looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that Discovery book. I know Discovery's not for everybody, but if you don't like Discovery, Strange New Worlds, which is like an offshoot from Discovery, feels like original Trek, and it is. The first series was fantastic, and the second series is just going up, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I know there's some books around that which I might have to look at. So yeah, that was my quick sort of BookTrek pick and mix, what I read and what have you. I said later this week, Star Surgeon Deathmatch, which I hope you'll look at, and I don't know what other videos I'm doing this week. I haven't decided yet, but I will speak to you all soon, and thank you very much.